What is good? Welcome back. This is episode 3 of how I'm going to build this depot-y warehouse thing. As you know, I record this as I edit, and there is 270 something clips here with over 110 gigabytes of files. So yeah, this is going to be a fun one. So let's flip the board over and start straight off with a new 3D print. This little thing is going to hold the connector, which is where I'm going to plug it in. I've decided to put it at an angle just to make when plugging it in a little bit easier. And then I was running this copper tape around the edges of the board just because I think it's a bit easier and a bit more flexible when I'm using copper tape just to solder wherever I need. And yeah, so now we're going to start off with the soldering. I'm not the best at it, so please don't use this as a guide, but I'm actually really not that good. So what I do is you'll see in a sec, I start hot gluing everything down just to save me snagging it. There we go. Because I know I'm going to end up ripping it out if I don't do that. So yeah, I mean, at least it looks sort of neat, right? Let's flip this building over, and yeah, you can see it's not fully strong. So this will actually help. This will act as a spine. So as you can see, I'm counting a load of the spaces and marking the center of each of the two halves, if that makes sense. So these are the little brackets that is going to hold the vent tube into the roof. Here I'm sanding them all down, sanding the supports off. You see all that nice lovely dust that's coming off? Yeah, that stuff is really toxic. So make sure if you're going to do something like this, you do it in a well ventilated space with a fan blowing. Here are the little brackets that is going to hold the venting. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory what I'm doing. They go on the front left and right, and then also on the back left and right. And you'll see why I've done it like that, because these have to be perfectly straight, and this is the only real way I could think of doing it. As you can see, there's the front and the back, and I'll use a little bit of dowel on both sides, and then using this garden wire that I had left over, I cable tie both ends down, or twist tie both ends down. And now what that's going to do is lock them into place. Now, as you can see, the sides can still move, and so to get them perfectly flush, as you can see there, all the sides just sink perfectly flat. And then those dowels, because they're tied on, are essentially a guide in order to create a perfectly straight line for the venting brackets. So yeah, best way I could think of doing it. The venting is done like so. These are resin printed tubes that took about 9 hours to print because of the height, which is just ridiculous. Yeah, as you can see, I was sort of scratching them on the surface just to take all those little dots off from where the supports are. Paint a ring of resin, clip them together because they've got that insert, and then yeah, I was just UV gluing them together. Suppose you could use super glue, but yeah, I just prefer to use UV. And also I was putting them out in the sun because the UV from the sun actually really cures the whole thing together. So yeah, take advantage of it whilst we've got sun in the UK. These are the lighting droppers that are going in now. So I use this little bit of wood as a template spacer thing from the central pieces of dowel, and I just ran down with a pencil. And yeah, as you can see, it's left these nice little lines, and they're going to be basically where I line these up. These are the little lighting droppers I've made back on that sander thing. As much as I love this, I hate it as well. Kicks up a lot of dust. So yeah, as you can see, they're slightly angled, and that little dot that was on it, I was making sure that the dot was always facing one way, because there was only a dot on one side, and that's kind of how I stopped them, because they're actually at an angle. So yeah, once they were all in line and at the correct angle, yeah, we moved back to the ventilation. Using this fun little hack that I actually saw on Facebook, get a bit of wire, tie a loop in it, and then spin it with a drill, and you'll straighten that thing out. It works with pretty much all thicknesses of wire as well, so if you're ever doing overhead lines, use this. I use that anyway, threaded through with some metallic spray paint, and that is basically the chrome effect that was used to, well, make it chrome, I suppose. Yeah, I left them to dry, and yeah, they looked really, really good. Then for the steel frame building, or well, resin framed, but I used the same stuff that I used on the floor of the hard standing, just because it went on real nice. And yeah, so anyway, I went through an entire can. Oh well, I finished off the first can, and then using a second can, I flipped over the building and did all the top. And by the time it was done, I'd used the second can already. Yeah, that was definitely one take. Once we've done all the ducting and it is dried, I then did a quick little test fit, and then this is just super glued in place because now everything is painted. Resin and the UV trick, that isn't going to work anymore. So I added a bit of glue to those droppers, as you saw there, and then once I had 3D printed these little trays, this is just PLA, yeah, they were then glued onto those droppers, and that is what the lighting is going to sit inside of. To bridge the sort of like gap, I used these little offcuts of PLA, and they sort of just acted as a miniature spine between the two parts, just to stop them from moving around. The lighting was done using COB LED strip light. People always ask me for the link, and when I send them the link's expired. They're just off AliExpress. Just type in COB LEDs, and this is 3mm wide. Whilst on the number 3, as you can see, 3 of those little squares is the width of this 4mm heat shrink tubing, in which is then threaded over the LED strip. And yeah, I did just burn myself. And then spaced 3 bits apart, as you can just about see there. You see them little lines that are below the yellow thing? They were like lines that where you cut, but I was using them as spacer guides. Once I had soldered the ends up and done a little test, I finished soldering the rest of them up, and then I just tacked them into place. Because the back is self-adhesive, they sort of stuck, but I was still using super glue on the ends and on some of the middle parts, just to really make sure they don't come off or sag down. So I don't know what these are called, but the little bits that go on the roof that hold the cladding of the roof onto the thing, I think they're called the stanchion. No, I don't think that's right. But yeah, these bits. These are just PLA, 1mm by 2mm, and then extruded by however much, I think it was 23 centimeters or 230mm. They're just super glued on, and because the roof is at 2.5 degrees, it sort of like naturally just falls into place. You can see I'm doing the side here. That's all that side is getting. I've left the other side blank for now because I can still put my hand inside the model, but that whole other side, or the right side, that whole thing is gonna have them. The left side isn't, because I'm gonna leave that off for people to be able to see it. I've already forgot what happens. Oh yeah, so then we went to the laser cutter. Then we went laser cutting back at Mr. T's, Science North Wales, or Steve. So yeah, I actually cut quite a little bit of this out because I did balls up. As you can see here, it is cutting individual panels or strips, and yeah, I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place. I glued it all together and then lifted it, and it sort of like started splitting along the joins. I should have done that middle piece all as one, like this part. So this is all completely remade. And then we glued on the end bits and sort of poked the wires up through the ends. I sprayed it all black as a base coat because I need no light whatsoever to leak through. Then I used this anthracite, I think it's called, spray paint from B&Q. It's a rip-off. But it's a nice colour. It's like an off-black, bluey, sort of dark grey. So anyway, as you can see, I do the two ends which will be permanently fixed down, and then that middle bit can lift. These are the Skylights, and I've used this clear PLA which I've never used before. I did a print, but as you can see, I left the infill as gyroid, which made it look and wobbly. So I changed the line direction to be 0 degrees and the bottom and top layers to be 20 bottom and top surface layers, and that meant that it was doing straight lines all the way through the print, and that kind of gave it like this corrugated effect, which is what I wanted, and it worked perfectly. Final part now, we put the I don't know why I keep saying we, it's just me. I put the little skylight things in, and there you can sort of see like those ridges and the corrugation due to the straight lines, which is really, really nice. I quickly wired up the lights like so, and I actually think I'm going to leave it like that. It leaves good repairability in the future, but there we go. As you can see, it is looking pretty darn smart. So yeah, the sides are going to be in the next episode. The doors at the back is going to be on the next episode, and a few other little details. But I hope you enjoyed it. That has taken me 3 hours to edit. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Have a good weekend or week, depending on what it is.